using AI in certain ways can rot our brain.
Higher AI use is linked to lower levels of critical thinking and learning ability.
But we still use it. Some of us have to. Some of us rely on it in our jobs. Some of us find it actually helpful. So then, how do we use AI in a way that improves rather than rot our critical thinking?
The writer's block used to be staring at a blank page. Now it's staring at a page that AI filled out for me and wondering if I agree with it. I've become a professional validator of a robot's opinions.
For this video, I spoke with Advait, a Microsoft researcher and a lecturer at the University of Cambridge. He's got some interesting takes and strategies, so buckle up. Oh, by the way, in this video when I say AI, I'm referring to LLM chatbots. Here are 2 techniques and 2 habits. AI should be a Socratic provocateur, not a robot secretary. In ancient Greece, Socrates would go around the streets and ask people questions like, what is truth? Or what is justice? And when people try to answer, he would give probing questions like, are you sure about that? Or what makes you think that way? As a humble farmer trying to sell your potatoes, you're probably tired of seeing this dweeb. But through these questions, Socrates, as annoying as he seems, actually engages your critical thinking in a very specific way.
A provocateur pushes back on what you're trying to do and forces you to confront your own assumptions.
Next time you ask AI about your code, your email, your procrastinated thesis, whatever it is, ask it to roleplay as a Socratic provocateur and pose open-ended questions, such as the following. Your brain might be burning at the end of it, but that's how you know it's working. The next strategy is similar to Socrates, but structured. It's inspired by Edward de Bono's 6 thinking hats. This method is widely known for conducting business meetings, where an incorrect decision costs a lot of money. In this thinking process, you mentally wear 6 colored hats, one at a time, to separate different modes of thinking. For example, white representing data, red emotion, black risks, yellow optimism, and so on. So in terms of Mommy Claude, you can ask her to put on a different hat to avoid this do everything, get nothing done prompt. For example, if you're building an app, you can ask her to put on the black hat and ask, what are 3 possible bugs that might come up? And for the green hat, it's what are 3 happy paths that the user can take? So this technique is similar to the Socrates trick because you're essentially forcing yourself to think through angles that you'd otherwise skip. I agree with Naval that
because there are gaps in thinking where you make leaps because you're kind to yourself that you don't realize you're making. But when you're forced to write it down, and this is why I tweet, or when you have to talk to somebody, you have to complete those gaps and make it a proper logical chain.
You know what kind of AI won't kill your critical thinking? The kind that helps you build out an idea you already have, which is why this portion of the video is sponsored by Lovable. I'm a hobbyist photographer and I've been putting off building a portfolio site for my photos for way too long. I thought that if I wanted to build one, I wanted it to feel like a curated museum. And here's the part I didn't expect. Lovable asked me questions first about my upload flow, about how I wanted photos tagged, what mattered to me about composition, so that the build started closer to my taste than a generic website. Here it gave me 3 design directions to pick from before committing to one, which if you watch the rest of the video, that's the point. You make the judgment calls. The AI executes, but you are still the creator. Here it is. A working portfolio site that auto-tags my photos and lets viewers filter the gallery the way I'd actually want them to. This is not a prototype, it's a real deployed website. I've included the link to this portfolio below if you wanted to poke around it. If you've got an idea that's been sitting in your Notes app, this is your cue to will it to life with Lovable. That's it for techniques, but they wouldn't work as well without adopting the following 2 habits. Habit number 1. AI can only improve your thinking if you had a thought to begin with. You might be like, no kidding, congrats Sherlock. But noticing that is actually a whole field in cognitive science. The term is called metacognition. It's where you think about your own thinking. Very meta.
Before you sit down to ask AI to do something for you, think for a few moments about what your own opinions are about this thing.
Almost like a hypothesis in an experiment. Make sure you have your own opinions before turning to the tool. Applying this to, let's say, software design. Next time I A/B test something, do I have a hypothesis in mind of which one is better? Can I fully explain this design decision, even if the script for the A/B testing was written with the help of AI? The antidote to AI slop is taking accountability for your own opinions. That sounds like a lot of effort, right? Well, the second habit is knowing when to spend that effort. You don't need to overthink a calendar invite, but you do need to stay in the driver's seat for work that is actually yours and that actually matters to you. Researching for this video taught me exactly where that line is. I thought that using AI would help me speed up the research process, but in reality, I spent hours wrestling with prompts, getting overwhelmed by all of the information, and second-guessing whether or not I should have used AI at all. I know there's a lot for me to learn in terms of prompt engineering, and if you have experience doing research with AI, please let me know. But I did find one use case for AI that actually helped me save time, and that's to pull quotes out of this 1-hour interview with Advait. Instead of sitting through the whole hour-long interview over and over again, I let AI do the digging for certain quotes that I remember in our interview, which gives me time to do the writing, deciding, and storytelling. How do we use AI without rotting the brain is basically asking, how do we use technology without outsourcing our thinking?
Extended mind theory, right? So we think through our bodies, we think through manipulating things, we think through other people. And so I would say cognition is fundamentally an extended, distributed thing already.
Here's the truth. We've been outsourcing, or rather extending, our thinking since the day we were born. The extended mind theory states that the mind does not stop at the boundaries of the brain or body. Physical objects and tools in the external environment, like a notepad or a smartphone, function as active components of our cognitive processes. In other words, we've always been outsourcing our cognition, whether it's writing on stone walls during caveman era or typing on computers. The myth is that cognition, aka thinking, happens just in the brain, and if it happens anywhere else, it must be outsourcing. In reality, cognition is a process that happens between our minds and other people's minds, and anything that we use to convey that is just a tool for thinking. Media theorist Marshall McLuhan famously compared how the wheel is an extension of the foot, the radio is an extension of the ear, the television is an extension of the eye.
Language itself is a kind of tool for thought. Writing is a tool for thought that amongst other things, reduced our reliance on storing things in human memory, right?
So if we've always thought through tools, why does AI feel different? Why does this one feel like it's actually rotting our brains? It's because AI is one of the first widely used tools that produces the output of thinking itself. A tool can extend your thinking, or it can replace it. Writing extends your memory, but you still choose the words. A calculator extends your arithmetic skills, but you still choose what to calculate in the first place. Every tool McLuhan has listed extends some part of you, but you stay as the main chef. The same tool that can amplify your thinking can also just do it for you. Computer scientist Alan Kay said, "The best tools work like an amplifying mirror. They reflect and increase the user's own intelligence. And a mirror needs something to reflect. Use AI to sharpen a thought you already have, then it amplifies you. But if you use it to hand you on a silver platter a thought that you've never had, then there's nothing to reflect, and you've become, in Advait's word, a professional validator of a robot's opinions. AI, when used poorly, may weaken your critical thinking, but researchers argue that if it's used correctly, then it can actually extend, augment your thinking. So, next time you use the good old chatbot, use those techniques and see how your critical thinking improves.